You're listening to Navid Moosa of The Mindset Movement. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host today and always for The Mindset Movement. First-time listeners, thanks for giving the opportunity to earn your trust. We appreciate it. Long-time listeners, thanks for your loyalty. We love you guys just as much, if not more. Listen, each and every week we get into it right away because I respect your time, my time, and the team's time. So, congratulations. You've gone into business for yourself, whether you're part-time or full-time, and you made a couple sales. Maybe it's a one big sale or a whole bunch of small sales, but you're doing good, right? Business is flowing, cash is flowing, feedbacks are coming through, everything is positive, people are referring business. Now, what do you do? What do? Do you just kick back and see where things go? Maybe. Do you ramp up marketing? Do you ramp up your efforts? Do you start, hiring people? What do you do, right? You have all this money coming in and you have this sense of pride that what you believed was going to happen is now an actuality. It's an actuality. It's no longer just a dream. It's not a pipe dream or anything. It's a legit actuality of yours. But what do you do now? How do you continue that? How do you continue the growth? How do you continue everything? Do you maybe cheat yourself? Do you go buy something? Believe it or not, although I say that question, most of you probably say, no, of course not. You don't go buy something, you invest. But you invest back to the business. That's the right answer. In my opinion, you do invest back into the business. But most people don't. Most people do not do that. See, we're here when we're talking about it this way. We say that, put the money back in, grow the business. But in actuality, when that money hits your bank and in your hands or your Cash App or whatever, then it's like, I've always been eyeing this thing over here. Let me go treat myself. That's the actuality, unfortunately, is what happens. See, if we can't manage $500, how the hell are we going to manage $5,000? More than 80%, unfortunately, of Americans cannot sustain a $600 emergency bill. 80% can't sustain it. If they got an emergency and it cost them $600, they will not have the funds. They may have it on credit. They may have a friend who's well off they can borrow from, but they themselves, if they had to rely on cash in the bank, they don't have it. That's a staggering number. That's a scary, staggering number. So what do you do with that, right? And here is my opinion. Here's my advice, what I think, not legal advice or financial advice, but here's what I think I would do if that happened to me. If I came into a bunch of cash, the first thing I would do is put it away. Put that cash away and let the business keep going and let it go for a while. And maybe around 6 months, assess to see where you're at. See, a lot of the time, the new business owners, even seasoned ones, so I really say, I apologize. I shouldn't even say that, new business, but new business and seasoned get comfortable really quick. The season gets comfortable and the new business owners become blindsided thinking, oh, it was this easy. I put all this work in. Now business is coming through. This business is always going to keep coming through. No, it's not. That business is coming through because you put all that work in. So the work you put in never stops. You have to do that still, right? But sometimes when we see it, like, that's it. I'm good. So phones ringing, email orders are coming through. This is happening, so on and so forth, and we get a little bit full of ourselves, and we start, let me go buy this, let me go buy that, treat myself to this, or we go the opposite end and go, okay, I want to dump all this money and buy this latest software because it's going to help me do this. Just because you have that money doesn't mean you should spend it in that regards. You need to assess, okay, here's what I did for so many months. Here's what the outcome was. So I did this much marketing, this much effort, and now I got business coming in. And it's a thing called KPI, key performance indicators. You need to know where your business is coming from. So is it when you post on social media? If so, which social media outlets are giving you the most referrals or getting you the most business? If it's referrals, what referral product are you using? Do you just have one referral product? Do you have two referral products? If so, which one's working the best? So when we get the money, we need to know how to manage the money. And I did an episode about college degrees and how a couple of years ago I would say no, you don't need one. Now I think, in my opinion, that you should at least get in marketing and finance or accounting. You should get one of those degrees, if not both of them, because you need to know how to manage your money and where your money goes and how to track your money. Because you need to learn to do it yourself before you go pay someone else to go do it for you. That way, you can listen to that podcast for that reasoning. But this episode, I want to talk about how to make sure that all the time and effort you put into building where you're at now doesn't need a reset button. Like, it doesn't just all go to waste because you mismanage funds. How many times you heard of athletes and musicians and entertainers who would make all this money? You see this lifestyle and stuff like that. And then fast forward 10, 15, 20, maybe even 5 years later. And they're not like they're working over here, or they have a job at a local store or something like that, because they don't have because they weren't frugal. They weren't, they took the money, didn't know what to do with it, or they trusted somebody. They over trusted somebody, and that person took advantage of them. It's a shame, but it happens. So I would encourage you to educate yourself on money, about money management. There's tons of, YouTube University, it's out there. There's tons of things about money management. There's always about paying yourself first. There's always about reinvesting into it. So I always look at marketing personally. Every time I make anything, I take 10% out, if not more, for marketing. Okay. And then I take money out for my VAs. I take money out for like office parties and stuff like that. I always try to take money out to make sure that my staff is always happy, to make sure the business is running like a well-oiled machine. I pay myself, but I always try to make sure that everything is flowing. And marketing, marketing is where it's at. You have to keep dumping the money into marketing, but you want to make sure that whatever you put back into marketing, it's effective, right? So that's where KPIs, the key performance indicators, come into place. Because if you're just doing Facebook ads, for example, right, that's fine. You're running one ad. That's easy. You know that one ad is where your business is coming from. But if you're running Facebook ads, for example, and you're running multiple campaigns on Facebook, you need to know which ad is being clicked on the most and stuff like that. And then this way, if you track that, you'll know, okay, well, I put $100 to this ad, $100 to this ad, but this ad got me, 1,000 clicks. This ad got me only 500 clicks. Does that mean you abandon the 500 click ad? No, it just means you look at it and compare and see what the difference is. Maybe you change it a little bit, or maybe you change it completely. Who knows? But you need to look at it and see what it is and kind of, think about that. So that's why I think, when you get this money and you get the success and you get everything flowing in, you need to educate yourself. You need to make sure that you know what caused it and how you can continue that motion, how you can continue and ride that good juju essentially that's coming your way. So I know it sounds basic. You're like, oh yeah, of course. But I'm telling you, till you live in that moment, till that cash starts coming through, most people's mind just changes because they see it. It's, again, we can talk about it and you can give all the right answers, but once you live in the moment and live right there with that, then the actuality of the situation hits you. You're like, shit, I got all this money here. Why I just put this much for me and put this much back into it? You abandon everything that was right there. Most small businesses fail for that one fundamental reason of just giving back to the business. Because that's how you got here, and that's how you're going to stay here. got to keep giving back to it. You got to give it back to in a right, smart way. And you got to make sure to understand where your money is going to and what's making you the money. So um, I'm always open to feedback, guys. I don't like to push. Um, Obviously, what I'm giving you is my opinion only, and a lot of people think, well, can you give me a book to read, or can you even recommend some softwares and stuff like that? I don't really like to do those things because what's good for me is what good for me. But I will tell you, um, there's a lot of softwares out there for money management. I would just definitely get on YouTube and type in money management skills, money management tips, or something like that. And there'll be tons of stuff out there that you can learn from and whatnot. And don't think just because the JPEG looks, oh, I've seen this before. Watch it. If it comes up, take the time to watch the video, because maybe it's a piece of software like Excel or something like that that you are very versed with, but maybe they can teach you a hack or a tip or pro tip rather, that you can use and implement into your business to help you out. So that's what I got for you guys this week. Each and every week say the same thing. Just do right by the client. Seriously, do right by the client and everything else will fall into place. Do right by the client and everything else will fall into place. I promise you that. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Have a great week. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.